All right, guys, welcome to the show. We got Ash, Mr. Bejarano, and Mr. Lopez today. Yeah, hey, man. Special video going over basically what happened last week's school board meeting. But before we actually go into it, I was going to talk about, and it relates to what's going on, is what happened in November. You know, November 14th, if people want to watch it on YouTube at around the 2-hour mark, there's some stuff that's being said at the school board meeting, November 14th, like I said. And one of it was about union negotiations, right? The district, you were there, Gilbert, me and you. We're offering, Ashton, we're offering a 7-1, and it was stated that that was fair, and all other money is going for our kids.
It was
everything
clear.
It's done. Now I don't know what's happened, but it's now we know that there's other money on the table with the bargaining units, the unions. There's a lot more on the table now. You know, millions of extra ongoing money, it looks like, and it hasn't been signed yet. So when people say there's no money, you know what I mean? 7-1, but now we hear this other stuff about, 6% on the salary schedule, maybe 7%. They even want more than that, one-time bonuses or payouts. Anyway, going off of what Suda had said at their at one of the meetings in February, they had mentioned they had their own little chart, right? And he had the district's proposal and theirs. Theirs added over $2.5 million of ongoing money. Ongoing money. So what does that mean? That means ongoing, right?
Forever.
Yeah, forever. So let's just put the wrestling facility. Let's say that cost $5 million. Well, 2 years of that ongoing money would pay for it, right? I know there's a lot of stuff to it, but basically in a roundabout way. There you go. So anyway, now go back to the topic of Tuesday's meeting. Mr. Bejarano had an agenda item. The very first time that I know of that a parent had an agenda item had an agenda item on the agenda for a school board meeting.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed. Obviously, our kids were disappointed because all of a sudden this money came, I don't know where it came from, to be able to give the adults extra money, more money, continuous money, as our kids get put second class once again. And that is the atrocious thing about this. This is really, really bad for our community. They're going to say it's irresponsible. What's irresponsible is the amount of money you keep giving to the adults instead of our kids who have deserved it, who have earned it. Our parents, our coaches, our kids, and even those great teachers that are out there. And we know they're out there.
Yeah, so one of the things going into it is that place was packed, right?
Right, with parents.
Parents and the union. And the union.
So you have two groups there fighting over this money.
Yeah.
And the adults, the board, listened to the union.
Instead of our kids.
Instead of the kids.
Instead of the parents.
Our representatives.
Instead of the parents. Yeah.
Listen to the adults instead of the parents.
Yeah.
And that's what was the disappointment on Tuesday.
Well, yeah. So you were there firsthand. I was listening to it at work, man, and it was hard. It was hard to hear. But what should have happened, in my opinion, if you had a whole bunch of parents there, they were wanting this for a long, long time. They were lucky. It was lucky that Mr. Bejarano had it on the agenda, and I feel like, man, they really blew it. They had an opportunity to have the parents rally behind it. I mean, the community was rallying behind it. I don't even know if they realized the magnitude of this.
Right. It was national. It was it was live. It was on the Wrestling Network.
Yeah. So big mistake.
Yeah, and a point that needs to be explained is they were saying it was irresponsible to make it an action item to vote on it. But what you do is you tell the representatives, the community tells the board what they want, and then your board tells the district the direction that they want to go in.
Bottom line, the board is the boss.
Yep.
The superintendent and the cabinet works for the board. The board doesn't work for the superintendent. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, and the board actually works for us.
Yes, absolutely.
So
that day, the board didn't work for us.
no, it didn't. See, that's the disappointment, right? I actually turned it off after that. I was like, oh man.
It's horrific.
Yeah, no, it was. I was very disappointed. Very disappointed.
Yeah.
What's, in my opinion, what's even more disappointing is those five adults cared more about the adults hurting their feelings than what was the right thing to do for our Selma community. That's horrific. They should be embarrassed.
Yeah, it was,
And for somebody to say it's irresponsible about the money, how about it's irresponsible for you to recommend to 5 board members almost double the raise and take from our kids? That's irresponsible.
yeah.
And-
So
and
you're,
the way-
you're getting at the 7 and 1 plus the 6%
Yes.
salary schedule.
Horrific.
And it's not irresponsible, because the way that it works is that you tell the district what you wanted them to do, and then they figure out how to do it.
So okay.
So and then
yeah.
you bring it back to the board and tell them, hey, well, this is the location we're thinking about. This is how much it's going to cost, and then you vote on it.
Yeah.
And you go to work. So basically, what you're doing by voting in is telling the district to go to work.
Yeah. No, that's exactly the whole point.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, and you're right, 100%. So one of the things that they do when you're on that board, you know, is
Yes.
they do workshops, and one of the things that they always, and we did it last year. We said it, I don't know how many times when Mrs. Jensen was there, when she was still there before you came back, and is that the board is the what? The school board gives direction, right? You're
From the
working
community.
from the community.
That was there.
That community was there, so it's not like it was one person, 2 people, and everybody knows wrestling's big. It should have just been done, but the board gives direction, and the superintendent and the cabinet superintendent is the how. So you got the board saying what they want, and then it's not their job to figure out how. It's not what they're not there.
Right.
They pay somebody to figure out how.
Right.
So that's the way it works. The board reacts to us, and then they tell
They
the
didn't react to
administrators. Yeah, they didn't that night, and then they tell the administrators what they want, or the superintendent. This is what we want, and you just go do it. Now, to be honest too, what I didn't like is you did have the board president try to put it on there in the beginning, and then there was almost like an undercut, like, hey, we got a master
what's
facility
the
plan.
undercut?
You know, yeah, and I think the board should have been supporting the president, wanting it to be an agenda item.
Right.
No one was supporting
Action item.
an action item. Excuse me.
And that's a good point. And I've asked my representative
Oh.
in Area 5, Mr. Mark Medina, to put it on as an action item for the next meeting.
Yep. Hey, and I did the exact same thing. I asked Mr. Fedor. I called him and told him, put it on. So we wanted to be an action item. Vote on it. If this board
We want the people's board to vote on it.
wanted to do their job.
Represent the people that put you there.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, if somebody has, hey, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But
We want
put
you
it
to
on
vote.
there. That's your job.
That's your job.
And we're asking you to do it. Hey, man, no one's
And
never
the,
done
and the
this
parents
before.
in the community are asking you. That place was packed.
Yeah, that's why it was a bad deal, right? If they would have done it, they would have had the backing of all the people there. Mr. Bejarano's over there. Bam! The kids deserve it.
They do
That's
deserve
what the
it.
board
You
should have
deserve
been
it. You
doing.
deserve it.
Hey,
You
man.
You deserve it.
Yeah.
You deserve it. Every single student, every single kid in this community deserves it.
Yeah, and so let me say this, because we're active, man. We're like one way, right? So that's why I opened up with the November 7th meeting. If you're going to have extra money, it's going for our kids. So now that we hear about this massive contract, after in the Fresno B, we're one of the top paid districts. Depending on what you look at, we're the top paid.
Where'd that money come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got money to give more out. We're top paid, and you're going to give out more.
Okay.
Come on.
Our test scores are not the best.
They're
The
not.
facilities need help.
Yep, they've been neglected.
Who's thriving in the district?
The unions.
The unions.
And again, our kids are put second place. And it is absolutely irresponsible in your positions to do that to the kids and our community.
Yeah, and then just so people kind of understand, because the contract hasn't been signed yet, but they're going through a third party. But we saw what both sides were offering, right, and how it went up. You could see it. So I want to just pick out one piece that's just truly disturbing to me. And you know, they have steps that they go through. The longer you're there, you make more. If you have your masters, you know, a certain amount of credits, units, you make more, right? The top out one is like 99 grand for what I've seen on the paper. That now will go to 119.
Wow.
A $20,000 raise for what I've seen
In 1 year?
In 1 year, and that so what I'm just trying to get at is you can't. How dare you talk about no money, but yet there's going to be a group of people that are going to get a $20,000 raise.
And if you bump one, you got to bump all of them.
You can move the goalpost. So I mean that's going to be.
And eventually you're going to bump up the administration
Yeah.
as well.
The administration will have to go up.
Yeah.
Ongoing money.
Yeah, are they going to sit there and promise no one else is going to go up? No, that's bullshit. Right. It's all going to go up, and yet they're sitting here crying about no money. You know what? They really screwed up when they changed the 7-1 and added more to it. There's gonna be hell to pay when that thing is signed. And at the end of the meeting, after you were gone, if you watch the end of the meeting on YouTube, you have the union vice president, Mrs. Klein, asking to meet with Mr. Sahota over coffee so they could discuss the budget. What is that? That seems like some kind of backdoor shit. That's bullshit. Shouldn't happen.
No, it doesn't seem it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, and it's right there where everybody could see it.
You don't need to
That's
meet in private.
bullshit.
It's open. Talk about it.
Talk about it. Talk about it in front of everybody. So when the parents are there saying, "Hey, build this," they didn't put a time limit and money on it. They're just telling you to make it a priority.
Making it a priority.
No one had their back.
Right.
I will say, Mrs. Alanis was trying in the beginning. I saw it. I heard it. So, no one else was doing anything for it. And you had the parents, and the union is there. See, the rest of the community's got to realize the union's there for that money. The ones that you want, they're there for that too.
Absolutely.
So you had two groups, and one's gonna get something.
Right.
It should be the parents.
Yep.
Should be our kids.
Should be the kids. Why do you think those parents were there mad? Because I heard it was pretty. It got kind of starting to get out of hand.
And remember, parents, these facilities didn't become this way overnight. So that means someone all these years was getting rewarded on the backs of our kids and our community. Remember that.
Yeah. So there you go. It goes back to the hey 7-1's fair. We're already at one of the top paid, and we're gonna give out all this extra money. Where'd that money come from?
Yeah.
How do you have it now?
And
I mean, I already know they had money, but it's supposed to be used for the kids.
and if we are top paid in our test scores,
One of the top paid.
giving them more is not going to produce better test scores. It's already proven.
Yeah, they already all know that. You know, they said it at one of the meetings because they told the new board, because you can.
Because you can.
Well,
So
you know,
we can
because
too.
yeah,
So
yeah,
we can
too.
Yeah.
And we will.
Yeah.
We can too.
it needs to be an item, an action item.
An action
If it's
item.
not, they need to tell us why in writing, and then we keep fighting for it until we actually get that vote. The smart thing to do, you asked Mr. Medina, I asked Fedor, you asked everybody.
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 It's just you
The
do
board
it.
president asked for it.
Ask for it, and is going to ask for it again because we're telling our reps to do it.
Yes.
So it needs to be done. And if they vote it down, then fine. You voted it down. You tell us why you voted it down. But remember, some of us know about that other money. I mean, that's the problem. That's the problem they have. That's the problem, man.
Well,
You know,
well,
I'm not
they
happy.
cre-
No one's happy.
They created that problem.
They created
We didn't
it.
have that problem.
Yeah,
They created that problem
They sure
by
did.
catering to the adults and putting our kids second class again.
And if anybody wants to look at that November, what's it, 14th?
It's November 14th
November
meeting.
14th meeting. they
That's
can
the way
see
the
it was
district
clear-
was going, man.
It was clearly stated 7-1. Anything over that goes to the kids.
Kids. So who changed it? It doesn't matter if they were led this way by the administration. It doesn't matter.
Every
The
single
board
adult,
members.
every single board member knows what's right and wrong, and they know the numbers.
They know who they're listening to.
They know the numbers.
Yep.
They know who they're catering to.
Yep. Man, hey, dude, we're all fired up.
Yeah.
Hey, parent club, school site council, ex-SRO on campus,
Sir.
ex-board member. We're pissed off. Our kids weren't first.
Selma wrestlers, come out to the next meeting. We need your support.
Again.
Again, come out again, and hopefully it'll be an action item.
An
I
action
mean,
item.
we're demanding action from our representatives.
And
mean-
public, community, make sure that you make your board, make our kids a priority.
Yes.
Contact your board.
Not the lining
That's a good idea.
of the adults' pockets.
Yeah.
Make our kids priority.
That's it.
Period.
Call your representative, contact them, tell them you wanted an action item.
Yeah, and man, Anyway, there was a lot of dude. Did you get a lot of calls?
Absolutely.
They work for us. You need to work for us. Hey, but so I did hear that it was kind of rowdy. So people do need to be respectful. I get.
No, absolutely.
I get that people get fired up. Hey, man, I was fired up myself. It was hard for me. I had to turn it off to calm down. You know, I expected something. You know what I mean? But they do have to be. You have to watch how you talk to people. You know, you just be respected. I get the fired up stuff, but I heard there was like things being said, but anyway,
But also remember.
Yeah, I know.
Also remember, if you can't deal with the heat, get out of the kitchen.
That's
if you
true
can't-
too.
If you can't stomach it, then get out. You're not the right person for that.
Yeah, that and if you're not there for the kids, man,
Priority, kids.
Priority.
Kids are priority.
it's easy to go with the flow, man.
Yeah,
That's the easy.
That's
thing
why
to do.
we have the facilities we have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
facilities have been neglected. Hey, the pay, like going back to Gilbert's thing, the pay hasn't been neglected. We're one of the tops. They want more because they can.
because they're catering
Well,
to the adult.
he said it perfectly. He said it perfectly.
Yeah.
You know,
Everything else.
who's winning? Who's coming on top?
Yep.
Not our kids.
Not our kids.
Not our community.
Not our
If you could
facilities.
if you could add 2.5 extra million on top of the 7-1, just that little piece alone, which is probably gonna be more, just that little piece alone, dude. What could you do for the kids with that ongoing money? You have it because you offered it. So don't say you don't have it.
Right.
You know, where'd you get it from? You know, how much of that extra money is from the general fund? How much?
Yeah.
We start asking our
Tell
reps
me
that,
how much. Tell me how much one-time money we have.
the reps won't even know. I'll guarantee you.
You know, and all this happened in a matter of 2 months.
2 months, everything. So it's the board. They're going to say it's the board. The board's going to get information, and
You know,
they're
there's
being
always newfound information.
Yeah, always.
When you hear that, you know something's up.
Hey, so you already know this guy is pretty fiery. I can be pretty fiery. When this guy gets fiery, hey, there's an issue, man. There's an issue. Hey, but it's all about the kids.
It
What the
is.
hell would I care about? You know what? The adults are second.
I didn't.
And you need to start saying that.
Right.
You know, no, you need to just start saying it. When you don't say it, this is what happens.
You know what fired me up is that the parent and the kid was there at that meeting, and they weren't heard.
They didn't listen to it.
And their representatives didn't act on what the community was telling them to do.
Yes.
And
It's different. And this isn't like it's an employee issue. You know, like, hey, we can't talk about it. Oh, like the recall shit.
Right.
No. This is out. This is a facility issue for our kids, and it became a bigger issue because you're going to give out more money to the adults, to the unions.
Yep.
So you put our kids.
That's the
you
choice.
didn't,
that
you
they're
didn't toe
making.
the line, man. I mean,
Right.
yeah, you know, it is what it is. But the fight continues.
Yeah,
It becomes an action item, which we're demanding. I mean, the next step, if it doesn't do it, then we're going to have the community demand an action item.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot. I mean, people that don't like each other were all supporting this one thing. I mean, come on, dude. It doesn't get any bigger than that.
It's not about the adults. I
You
don't
work
have
on
to
your
like
budget
you, I
next
don't
year
have to
for
like
that.
Gilbert, but if we have a common goal for our kids and our community, I'll stand by you guys 100%.
That's it.
I don't care about the adults
Yep.
in that sense.
Yep.
It's creating what's best for our kids and our community, period.
So before the next meeting, we'll do another video. We'll see if we got it on as an action item.
Sure.
Okay.
If our reps did what we asked them to do.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, they have the power to do it.
And the answer why they didn't put it on.
I want to know why.
I want to know why.
I want to know why.
The community wants to know why.
Yeah, so that's why the podcast is, hey, it's a
And
good
money
thing.
shouldn't be an excuse because
well,
they're giving it away. They're offering it.
For the board members, they know it's not a real excuse.
Right.
They know it. They know if you can give it over here.
Why
I mean,
not
if you could sit right here in front of us and explain it to where, okay, I understand. I doubt you can. But if you can, then that's another whole story. Oh, we only got special money just for, just for raises. All of it. Everything. Okay, then show us.
Mm-hmm.
Because other than that, most of the money comes from the general fund to pay for salaries.
I thought you said it was like 80, 70% or something.
Oh, no. What I was talking about was 75 to 80% of the district's budget. And this is what they said last year. It's at one of the meetings. 75 to 80% in a regular year goes to salaries and benefits. So you want to know why our facilities are suffering? And then you offer a fair 7-1, which is actually really high, but you had all this extra money, and then you want even more.
For a 1-year contract.
So the unions come in, and this isn't to bash the union. This is what unions do.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have people representing you for it. The union's coming for more, saying that they can get it, that it's there. Well, there was a new offer, so it's almost like, hey, man, maybe they did know more. I mean, why the hell would you offer them that salary schedule increases? That money, all that extra money should be going for the kids. That's what the stance was last year. Everybody understood it. Who changed that stance? The board's going to get blamed for it because it is them. If you get led the wrong way, that's your problem.
If you're listening to them play with words.
But you already had 2 board members from the prior board.
Yep, right here.
Right here.
It was 7-1. Everything
is
else is for the kids,
Very
dude.
clear.
No, but what I'm saying is on the current board.
Yes,
You
2 of
already-
them.
From the prior board that
For
knew
the prior
7-1
board.
was
Yes.
the stand.
So I have to do this, man. I have to give the shout out because I think the board president is on an island all by herself right now. Because it seems like when I heard Mrs. Klein talk to Mr. Sahota about meeting for coffee to get something else done, no, man. Mr. Sahota knows better. He knows better. They all know better.
Yeah, and I have to give the board president a lot of credit. She is doing what's right for the child.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, 100%, Mrs. Alaniz.
Yeah,
thank you,
board president.
Yeah. And so that's just how we feel. Hey, we don't hate nobody.
No.
But hey, we want our kids first.
They will be.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. If anybody wants to come here in front of us and tell us why, you can give out contracted money. And I want to know who supported that shit to okay it. I mean, we're gonna find out as soon as they sign it. We're gonna find out who supports that shit.
And the community will know.
Oh yeah. You have to get blasted.
God,
It don't matter. It is disgusting. Disgusting.
absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Not to put our kids
Yeah.
priority,
Yeah.
man.
And so, just to reaffirm, that contract hasn't been signed, but there's a ton of money on there. And if Suda signs it, it's not going to be good.
And again,
It's
it's
gonna be bad.
ongoing. Doesn't end.
Yeah. There is some one-time. I don't know if they call it bonus money or one-time money, that 4%. But there is going to be the salary schedules are always going to be there.
And they're the only ones thriving. The test scores
good
are
point.
down. The facilities are down. But they're doing great, and they're asking for more.
Yep. Oh,
Taking from our kids.
Taken from our kids. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man. Let's hope the board starts working for us.
Absolutely.
Let's hope.
The
The people's board, man.
That's
Not
why I
gonna-
asked.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
why I asked.
Listen
I
to the
want
people.
the people's board to vote yes or no. Plain and simple.
That's it. So that's where it's at. Let's see what happens. We'll do another video as soon as we find out if there's going to be the action item. I asked Mr. Fedor.
I asked.
You asked Mr. Medina, and you asked everybody there. Everybody there. So I'm sure they're going to ask for it. We'll just see what the outcome is, and then let's report back to everybody. Why not, man? It's all about the kids.
Absolutely.
Kids first.
Kids
All right.
priority. That's
All
it.
right. Well, hey guys, thanks for watching the show. Please
Thank
like
you
and
for
subscribe.
inviting.
Hey, Caesar, thanks for coming. Hey, Caesar stood up there and was yelling. The kids deserve it. That was powerful.
They earned it.
They earned it. It
Selma
was
Wrestling.
powerful.
Selma Wrestling.
Selma Wrestling.
Every
Powerful.
parent, everyone in our community
Powerful,
has earned it.
man.
They deserve it.
Hey, and Gilbert, just for him to come, that's a big deal, man.
Thank you, man.
All right, guys. All right, man.
This is very important.
Very important,
Very
man.
important.
The fight continues.